So I've been using the Google Pixel 10 for about 2 months now, and this is a review of it 5 months later after its release. I just want to hop straight into it. First things first, I'm going to show you a clip of literally the unboxing for this because this was probably one of the most unsatisfying, cringiest, not the best, like actually terrible unboxings I've ever done, and I've opened up a bunch of phones. This was probably the worst one. Like literally, as you can see, like I couldn't peel the back piece off of this. I couldn't peel off the paper on the front of the screen. Everything was so hard to move in this device. It just made this whole thing feel like it was a chore, but we did all that to finally get the Google Pixel 10, and I have it, and this is the 128 gigs of storage, and this is the regular model, so let's talk about it. First thing I want to talk about is the battery life on this thing, and for me to have light use of this phone, I would say this battery does last me about like 6 or 7 hours of battery life, and then after that, I have to charge it up, so I would say roughly, if I'm consistently using this, it'll be about like 2 to 3 times a day where I have to fully charge this thing. So that's not as bad as I would think so. It does have a 4,970 milliamp battery, so I mean rounded basically to 5,000 milliamp batteries. So it's not that bad. It's actually really good. It's just a power hungry device, and the things that I have on this device makes it so the battery gets drained like super fast compared to like my iPhone 16 Pro. The biggest thing that I have with this is mainly just the charging. So I am a very advocator for Samsung charging. I love their super fast 45-watt charging. This one doesn't have 45 watts, it's actually a 30 watt. Hopefully soon in the next Pixel 11 that we might get this year, we might get 45-watt charging. Please, Pixel, Google, please. The next thing that I want to talk about is the camera, and for this, I really had to like keep an open mind with this because this is not the Pro version of the Google Pixel. This is the regular Pixel. I got some really good shots of some few things. I'm gonna post them on the screen now so you can see. But in low light, this does feel a lot more grainy, and I feel like it makes my skin a little bit more smooth. I can say the same thing with the video as well too. The video is literally just about the same as the camera as well too. A few other things that I wanna touch on is the vibration, the feedback for this thing is like absolutely amazing. I have never in my life experienced a phone that has as good as a haptic feedback like this phone does. Like everything that you do on this phone has a subtle vibration, but it kind of like fits on what you're doing, if that makes sense. So like for example, if you're going into like the taskbar and you're like kind of close out apps and stuff like that, every time an application moves over to the middle, it moves out of it, it'll actually do like a little subtle vibrate. When it comes to haptic feedback, when it comes to like how the motors work and like how everything like feels in your hand with this, like top tier. Top tier. I'm not even making that up. Nothing's beating this phone when it comes to haptic feedback. Just throwing that out there. The Pixel Snap is really good with this. You can like throw like MagSafe stuff on the back of this without having to use a case or the little metal ring on it, which is actually a big thing. I use my phone sometimes without a case, sometimes with it. I go back and forth, but if I don't want to use it, I can just do this and it works like really good as well too. Now the only thing that really gives me trouble with this phone is really just the speakers. I do think the speakers on here does need improvement. Like they're not as good compared to like an iPhone or a Samsung that I've used in the past. I feel like I turned this thing up to 80 and it feels like I'm listening to it on a 30 or a 40 volume limit. Like it's just not the best. And even on the phone, like it just feels like everyone can hear my conversation when I have it up, though it's either gonna be super low that no one can hear it or super loud that everyone can hear it. There's no in between there. The regular price for this is $799 for 128 gigabytes, which honestly, I can't justify. If I'm being honest, I feel like this deserves to be like $600 for 128. And then if you want to step it up to 256, then you can pay that $700. I would only recommend getting this phone if you find it on sale or if you can get like the Pro model. I don't think that this is worth the $700. I just don't think so. I have been lucky enough that US Mobile did send me this phone out for free, so I was able to try it out, test it out, and review it for you guys. So huge thanks to US Mobile for that. And I also want to say the case that I'm actually using on this is actually a Spigen case. And I honestly believe Spigen comes out with some of the best cases. And I've just started using their cases about a few months ago with the iPhone 16. So if you're looking for a case for this, I would highly recommend getting a Spigen case. Also, this phone does come in a blue color, which I think is a pretty bright blue. I think that is actually a really good color. But that's it. That's everything with the Google Pixel 10. If you have the Google Pixel 10, let me know in the comments how you feel about this phone. Honestly, I like this phone. I just wish they had the better speakers for it. Everything else goes well with it. I'm super excited to have this phone, and thank you again for Mobile for sending me this out. And this part you can pass by. I'm just gonna be talking a little bit. Actually not even just a little bit, more just saying I'm gonna try and do more long-term video on top of the shorts. Follow me on my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Those are the 3 main things I'm going to be using from here on out. And this is the first video of the year. And huge shout out to my friend D'Angelo for making this animation for the Google Pixel. He's been doing such a really good job at this and helping me moving forward onto this. So I'm excited for that too. But all right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.